Hey, everybody. And just like that, we are live. Welcome to the official launch of Cruz, Databon's agentic automation AI. My name is Alec. I am a lead engineer here at Databon, and I'd like to introduce my cohort, Aditya, head of product, Adi. Say hello to the group here.
Yeah, thank you, Alec. And very good morning, evening to everyone who's taken the time to be here on the session.
Awesome. So yeah, for those who don't know us at Databond, we're an AI-powered data pipeline management platform, and we aim to simplify data collection and engineering while simply significantly reducing costs and manual effort. I just wanted to call that out too. While we're here today for the launch of Cruz specifically, right? We do have some new faces joining us. Large RSVP list. Looks like we have everybody from customers to partners, and I just wanted to begin and thank everybody who's joined us on this live stream. Really, thank you for contributing to our journey thus far, and we are incredibly excited for the launch of Cruz. So Adi, let's kick this off. I guess we'll start, right? I'll just ask, what is Cruz, and what did we see that made us investigate a tailored AI to solve problems across the data landscape?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Cruz is the first of its kind AI data engineering agent that's designed to make data engineering, data management so simple and effortless. And before I go further into the specifics of what Cruz does for you, let's talk about why Cruz exists, right? If you looked at the data pipeline landscape, it had increasingly become fragmented, complex, and super unmanageable. And over time, we started seeing a perfect storm that was brewing, right? On one side, you've got vendors constantly shifting formats, adding layers of complexities, right? That often disrupted existing workflows. You had a lack of industry standards, right, which piles on tech debts, creating chaos, for downstream consumption platforms, right, like SIMs on the security side, or observability tools, right, for IT operations, or even data lakes, right, for application data analytics and all of that. And all of this, created a reactive firefighting, right, that often dominated the lives of engineers day in and day out, right, pulling them every bit of their way away from delivering real business value. So as a result, we saw a consistent pattern, right? Teams are always stuck in the vicious cycle, spending more time, fixing breakages, wrangling messy, unstructured data sets, handling compliance issues as a result of it, rather than focusing on their core missions. So we built Cruz to break the cycle. Cruz is not just another tool or a helpful assistant. And let me explain what I mean by that, right? If you notice, every solution in the last year to 2 years, that often talked about, putting you in the driver's seat, right? At first, it sounds great, right? Until you realize that you actually have to drive. So in the world of co-pilots that promise to make you or your lives easier, right? You often, hit that realization that those co-pilots want you to steer the wheel. They want you to make those decisions, and most importantly, do all the heavy lifting. So we took a different path with Cruz. So Cruz is not just a co-pilot; it is the pilot. It doesn't sit next to you, offer suggestions while you handle the rest. Instead, we designed Cruz to take the wheel, simplify, optimize, automate your data pipeline challenges, right? The way I can simply put it is, Cruz is a tireless, brilliant team member, right? That works 24/7 for you. It doesn't take break. It doesn't miss details. And more importantly, it thrives in complexity, right? Turning chaos into order. So overall, we designed Cruz, like I said, as an AI data engineering agent to deliver true autonomy in your data pipelines, handling chaos, making proactive decisions, so your teams can focus on the work that truly matters. And today, Alec, hopefully, we'll dive into how Cruz works, and most importantly, right, also tell the audience how they can bring Cruz into their enterprise to unlock a whole new level of efficiency and value, for their operations.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, so just to clarify, Adi, you're saying, this isn't just general artificial intelligence, right? But you're saying it's autonomous intelligence?
That is right. This is going to be the future, right? And we can't show you what's next. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I think now that we've covered the origins of Cruz, right? I think we should give the people what they want, right? Such a large crowd in the chat here, and thank you to our team that's also monitoring chat and responding to any questions you may have throughout the presentation here. But let's jump right in, Adi. I think we should kick it off from a cybersecurity perspective. I know a lot of our customers that we have here, right, are coming to us for that cybersecurity perspective, and kind of going into how we provide that first step, right? And how Cruz can provide that first step in an exploratory type view.
Absolutely. As an engineering agent, we made Cruz not just to handle cybersecurity data sets, but also any application data for that matter, right? Again, if you've been in cybersecurity, Oftentimes, you're tasked with onboarding a new stream of logs. At that point, what happens is, if you've been there, you know the drill, right? You're already juggling between incident response, threat detection, compliance, and all of that, and suddenly a new stream of logs, comes in, right? And what happens typically is, engineers start using that or throwing a sample of those logs, in their terminals, writing grep commands. Suddenly they are building makeshift queries, trying to figure out, what's uniquely present over there. Hours or sometimes even days, spent on, just understanding the basics of each and every log source, right? What is this data? What value does it bring to me? And most importantly, how do I even onboard this into my existing platforms, right? And all of this is just before the actual, work of pipeline creation even begins, right? And that's not efficiency. That's, just grind for the most parts, right? So in this case of data onboarding, Cruz actually redefines that whole experience. You can forget, manual guessworks, forget all the late nights, buried in logs. And what you can simply do is, point your logs to Cruz. That's it. No extra steps needed. And what Cruz does is automatically catalogs your data, and it does a real-time data exploratory view, right? Like what you see here on the screen, right? Giving you insights into what is actually present in that data set, right? So you know how effective this data stream is going to be, for your security use cases, right? For your threat detection, for your investigation and whatnot, right? And while it does this behind the scenes, it is automatically put together a data pipeline template for you, right? Very, very tailored to this data set, that we are observing in your environment, right? So all of this makes your onboarding ready in minutes, not hours, not days, right? So what does all of this mean for your team, right? They're no longer stuck in the trenches. They're no longer having to spend the time, trying to figure out, what this data is. How do I make sense out of this and whatnot, right? You're just, your data is just onboarding ready in a matter of in a minutes for you, Alec.
Absolutely. And I think this is incredible too from a visibility perspective, right? As teams, enabling teams to make a decision on where data belongs in the enterprise, right? At the edge. And, a lot of times we're seeing, and historically, right, you would have to load that into massive tables. You might even have to plug that in fully into your, your data pipeline, right? And see it realized at, at the data lake, at the SIM layer, right? So to be able to have an exploratory view before making those decisions, I think is super powerful. This is one thing I'm really excited about. But when we talk about, the next step in Cruz, another thing that I'm really, really excited about is the ability for Cruz to work at, custom normalizations. And when we step outside of the realm of, applications that, are known to us, right? And, we maintain a very large content library out of the box with Databond, 400 or so connectors, it's growing every week that we have. And when we're taking a look at those fringe cases, right? We're taking a look at the custom applications. We're taking a look at the crown jewel applications at enterprises. And, these are applications that have grown with the business, but the log formats haven't grown with the business, right? They're classical, custom in-house things. So we really wanted to take a look at how we could have Cruz tackle that example. And that's what I'm going to pull up next here. So we're going to take a look at, what Cruz can do from a custom parsing. And I think, if I were to just pause it here real quick, if our audience was, mic'd up, I think we hear a collective groan when I mention this next statement here. And it's that, in my career, I've written thousands of regex patterns, and taking a look at, all of these different, applications and how we're going to work with that data. And it's a very big annoyance and time sink, and it can often, push cycles back for engineering teams. And they spend so much time worrying about, how they're going to get the data in and how they're going to start working with the data. And, through Cruz, we really want to enable our customers to stop worrying about that and start to allow these autonomous actions to be taken against the data. So I'll continue on here and we'll kind of show what this is going to look like from a flow in your environment. So as the custom app arrives at the edge, we're going to start to build a custom normalization, and this is so fast in regards to what it would be as a manual effort. So you'll see here, right, we're going to go ahead and capture the raw logs that are coming in. These can be raw, unstructured, structured, JSON, as messy as they can be. I'm just trying to demonstrate that here to show you, what that looks like. And like I said, taking the load off the engineer and allowing Cruz to do this work for you. It'll actually generate a parser on the fly, like I said, very, very quickly here. And that's a Grok pattern we generate, and it'll automatically normalize that into a JSON format. And this model's open to feedback as well, right? So it's supposed to get you all the way there as far as having a data model generated. And in this case, right, we saw the message field wasn't verbose enough, and we wanted to take that and give the model feedback to then regenerate the JSON. So a very, very powerful capability as well from a customization perspective. And then Cruz as well, right? It can also do one-click transformations, to your most popular downstream destinations, OCSF being one of them, Sentinel being one of them. We have these native integrations built in, again, to really make that data transformation as quick and as seamless as possible, to have that custom application source, that can be just such a large headache without a tool like this, and really enable you guys to get that data downstream. And it can really just be as quick as this. I mean, you're seeing me build a pipeline live from a custom app source, and it could be as simple, right, as dragging that destination to your downstream platform and, saving the platform, and that would make this data flow live in the environment. So really, really, really powerful tool that we're excited to launch today. Pivot us back to this screen here, Audie. And then, I think when we talk about, the next steps, right? And, we've talked about exploring the data before it arrives, right? And we talked about working with, custom data sources that, kind of fall outside, all of our content library that we have built out of the box. But, Audie, I think I'd like to talk about, the ongoing operations and, how can Cruz enable enterprises to see this, at a larger scale, right? How does an engineer manage events that could happen day to day, in the data lifecycle management process?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? Right. I mean, if you look at any average enterprise today, they're dealing with hundreds of sources, each generating its own unique streams of data. And the challenge just doesn't stop with, collecting and onboarding, like you said it, right? It's about how do you manage and how do you operate over it day in and day out, right? And that's where a lot of teams get stuck, right? Because your data formats, change all of a sudden because, your vendors upgraded their versions, right? Or you suddenly see a schema drift sneaking in, right? Because there was a code change, that was pushed in one of your applications, a data breakage that caused a normalization pipeline to fail. And these aren't hypotheticals, right? These are daily realities, right? And this, again, puts you back in that firefighting mode, day in and day out, right? And so Cruz is helped to solve those as well, right? Is built to scale, right? It doesn't handle your data pipelines, but it's also designed to monitor and manage, all of these, right? And if we can, show them here, right?
Yeah, let's pull up the data speedometer.
Yeah, there you go. Right. We provide dynamic health scores, right, for each and every one of your data streams, right? Again, giving you immediate visibility, right, into what's working, what is not, right, for every single, data source that's onboarded as a pipeline. Monitoring for you, right? It looks at a few different parameters like you see here, right? The consistency, the quality, format, all of these ingredients factoring into that real-time monitoring done by Cruz. Any changes, right? Like for instance, the schema drift alert over here, giving you that proactive notification, right? Telling you where exactly the problem lies, right? And most importantly, Cruz is also designed to remediate these challenges for you, right? There are built-in automated workflows that can automatically handle these data discrepancies so that your operations are, always smooth, right? So what has happened. So you're not having to add this, to that growing list of, backlog that you always find yourselves in the middle of, right? So all of these, again, designed to scale, with enterprises, scale as your log sources grow, right? Scale as you see changes or your data evolving over the course of time.
Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah. And thanks for covering that. And I think, right, my question for you, right, as, head of product at Databon is, what's next? Like, what's next for Cruz? We have these wonderful tools, right, to save, our customers so much time across the entire stack and the data lifecycle management process. But, what's next for Cruz?
Yeah, I mean, what you've seen here is only the first step, right? Again, we really, putting Cruz into action to make sure that you have in a world where your teams are empowered, right? Your data engineering, data operations are not just mundane tasks that you have to do. So we're adding a little bit of excitement in the data world here, and to ensure that also no data issue goes unnoticed, right? As a result of all of this, right? So we are coming up with some exciting updates on top of Cruz, later this year. There's also Reef, that's another product that we are working on that's soon to be launched. So yeah, stay tuned, and you'll see more excitement and more cooler capabilities and updates coming out of DataBond.
Definitely. Yeah. Excited to do more of these this year, right? To kind of show off, everything that we're going to be building into the platform. And, to pivot to that, right? To have customers, how they can engage with us today, right? Our POC processes are very, very easy. We have two main abilities, right? To work with you and your data. If you don't have the DataBond platform already, the main POC process being that we can bring your data into the platform and show you, the power of DataBond and Cruz and how it can work for you. But when we talk about the other POC process, we also have the ability to create a lab as well. So that's a complete model of your environment in the DataBond platform, where you don't even have to install anything. You can directly get access to a DataBond tenant and see what Cruz can do against your data sources, and how you can tweak our out of the box rules that we have in the platform to kind of showcase the power of DataBond in a very, very easy and kind of frictionless way. And then as well, at the end of the presentation, we'll have a QR code available for you to visit our website, to get engaged with the team. And, again, thank you for the team to be fielding those questions in chat. And, if you want to learn more about use cases, customer success stories, white papers we have on different technology partners that we partnered with, right? All of that's available on our website. And thank you so much for tuning in today, Adi. I appreciate your time. And thank you so much for all of our customers and everybody tuning in. So any closing thoughts, Adi?
No, like you said, there's a few different ways, for you all to engage with us, to see Cruz in action in your environment. And most importantly, like you said, thanks everybody. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon. Take care.